Chasing Purpose is a journey of self-love, self-development, healing, and spirituality. Lift up the hands to the hills, I'm blessed, oh man. Welcome to Chasing Purpose, everybody. If you're feeling blessed like I am feeling blessed, give me a little signal, no? 551-5782, 551-5782, 551-5782. That is our WhatsApp line. You can send us a text message there, voice note. Yeah, let me know. How you feeling? Are you feeling blessed? Studio line 676-4996, 676-4996. I want to say a big shout out to the Up and Go team. Brilliant show as per usual. Welcome to Chasing Purpose. I am your host, Cynthia Clark, and I'm here to take you on a journey of purpose through thought-provoking conversations. Surrounded by our 5 pillars, setting intentions, nurturing faith, pursuing aspirations, all while living boldly. I didn't do math too well. That's 4 pillars. So it's setting intentions, nurturing faith, pursuing aspiration, all while we are living boldly. Be sure to download our app. Do not be a stranger. Be not just watch, listen to us, but you can also view us, right? Because we are audio visual radio. The Bridge 99 FM in the mobile app store, Android Play Store, and the Apple Store. The Bridge 99 FM. Join us. Today is Wellness Wednesday. It's Wednesday, guys. It's kind of and it's the first week of October. Before you know it, we're going to be playing Christmas carols as the Up and Go team has hinted to just the other day. Christmas is right around the corner. Thanksgiving for those who celebrate, Halloween for those who celebrate. The end of the year is right around the corner. 2023 is upon us. Let us get to our mindset message. Our focus today is on breaking barriers. Breaking barriers. What exactly is a barrier? An obstacle, a fence, or something that prevents us from moving forward. From that forward movement, that's an obstacle. If you were driving in the on the way to work today, you were in traffic, that was an obstacle, you had to move around it. Right? It is self-inflicted or it can be external. Is your barrier limitation society has set for you? Do you have some limiting belief that was placed on you, possibly by a guide, a parent, a role model, or on yourself? What barriers are we breaking? What limiting beliefs are we moving away from, that we're breaking through? What is that breakthrough? What's that glass ceiling that we're breaking through? Is the barrier self-doubt? Is it fear? Lack of vulnerability. We spoke about the power of vulnerability on Monday. What is it today that we are breaking through? What is that? But what's that thing that's holding us back? That noose that is around our neck. What's that thing that we are breaking today? Breaking barriers. That's what we're doing. We're breaking barriers today, right now. Not next year, not next week, right now, today, as you hear the sound of my voice. What barrier are you breaking? A lot of us are holding our own selves back. A lot of us right now, we're just doubting ourselves. We don't think we can do it. We don't think we're good enough. We're smart enough. We have the right words. What's the barrier that you're breaking? Call me up. Let me know. 551-5782. 551-5782. 551-5782. Again, this is not a one-way conversation. A conversation takes 2 to tango. Call me up, 676-4996, 676-4996. What's that barrier that we're breaking today? What's that limiting belief that we are releasing, that we're no longer accepting? You are good enough. You are smart enough. You have exactly what you need right now to move forward. Let's break down our barriers. We're going to jump into some music, a music mix to take us through this Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. We're breaking down barriers here on the Bridge 99 FM, Irie Jam Radio. Be a part of us. Be a part of this movement as we chase our purpose. Give me a call, 551-5782, 551-5782, 676-4996. We have a fun show today, as per usual. It's Sin Things Wednesday also, so you know that's where we give it things that we love. Yes, we were born to fly. We are absolutely going to make it. Pick up Deep Jai. Greatness is the power inside. That's the message. The message is in the music, people. Just need to take heed. Greatness is the power inside. That's right, Romy. Greatness is the power inside you, JB, Dominique, Nayoka, myself, this entire team, you, our listeners. Greatness is the power inside. So as we step into our greatness, sometimes there are things that are before us, adversity, stumbling blocks. We're in the valley. There's some sort of barrier that we have to go around, go through, go over. What is that barrier for you? And what's holding you back from that breakthrough moment? We're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, more right here on Chasing Purpose on the Bridge 99 FM. And we love you, Nadine. Welcome back to Chasing Purpose, heard right here on the Bridge 99 FM in Kingston. No, all over the world, all over the island, I should say, not just Kingston, island-wide, and in the New York tri-state area on Irie Jam Radio. So today we're talking about breaking barriers, right? What is it that is holding us back from that breakthrough that we want to see? What is keeping us from that forward movement? We usually see or encounter obstacles or barriers when it's time to level up. So what do we need to level up in? And that's what's holding us back. Look at it. Just take a look at life right now. Where are you on your journey? Where are you right now? What do you think that's holding you back? Is it yourself? Something external, or is it something internal? A lot of times it's our own self that's holding us back. So we need to break those barriers. If you remember the conversation that we had on Monday with Danielle Terrelong, she said we need to remember not who we are, but whose we are. Because remember, he never forsakes us. He never leaves us or forsakes us. The Bible says, ask and it will be given. Where's our faith? We serve a God that is without limits. So if our God is without limits, why are we putting limits on ourselves? Remember, he said he'll never leave or forsake us wherever we are, no matter how off the path we go. He'll always be there. So why are we limiting ourselves? This space that we're living in, where we're operating in fear or that scarcity mindset. We need to move away from that. There's so much greatness within. We have it, we have it. But maybe a parent said, boy, so you're not going to amount to nothing. A teacher said you're not going to amount to answer something. Somebody you maybe looked up to planted a seed of negativity. Rest assured, you can move away from that, break that chain. Wherever you are right now, we need to be breaking that barrier, changing our mindset, shifting the perspective on positivity, on moving ourselves forward, on that next level, on leveling up and breaking the barriers. We are going to jump to Sin Things here which you guys know is a segment here where I talk about the things that I love. I am Sin. This is Sin. This is she. I am her. And I love things. I love big things. I love small things. I love luxurious things. I love, inexpensive things. I just love things. And I want to share those things with you. So when we get into sin things, before we get into sin things, let me just grab what we're doing today. And with sin things, guys, what happens is I will feature whatever the thing is, and you, Bridge Nation Irie Jam fam, will have the opportunity to be gifted with said thing. So today I gotta put my glasses on because 44ing is 44ing right now, my 44-year-old eyes. And again, be a part of the conversation. 551-5782, 551-5782, 676-4996, 676-4996. What barrier do you need to break? What's holding you back? What barrier do you need to break? We're out here ready for barriers to be broken. Cavell, what barrier do you need to break? I can't hear you through the grass. No, not the door, Cavell. No, Cavell, not the door. What barriers, Bridge Nation, Irie Jam fam? Come on, call me up. What barriers do you need to break? What barriers do you need to break? What barriers do you need to break? Makai. Hi, Makai. All right, Bridge Nation. Let's just jump to this really, really quickly. Can I get Makai mic for Makai, please? So I moved to Jamaica 3-4 years ago. Before moving to Jamaica, I was working, I still do, part owner of Irie Jam Radio. Now, one of the things that we did through our Irie Butterfly Foundation was we'd had a summer program. And Makai, I'm going to put you on the spot, so you better try to embarrass me. All right. And through our foundation, it was about empowering, educating, and inspiring our youth through Caribbean culture. So we ran a program during the summer, had about maybe 40 to 50 kids, and we would emerge them into the Caribbean culture, right? Because we were living in America, we thought a lot of our children just were getting caught up in the American way, and we just wanted to ensure that they understood what their roots were. So we would do Bible jams, we would pray, we would cook, we would learn about dance, we would learn about all things Caribbean. And one of what we did, we segmented them. It was our caterpillars, and our caterpillars were from age maybe 5 to 7, and our butterflies were 7 to 12 maybe. Makai came in as a caterpillar, and he graduated to a butterfly. Makai, how are you? Welcome to Jamaica.
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Makai.
Hi.
I am so happy to see you. How are you?
I'm good.
This is a surprise.
Yeah.
Makai, do you remember some of the things that you learned at the camp?
Oh, yeah. I remember there was this one time, and, they made ackee and saltfish.
Oh, really?
And we had to help out. And then I remember there was this another time when I went with Amber to the store.
Hi, Amber.
We got marshmallows, and we made we made s'mores.
Do you remember the Irie Kids Creed?
No. I don't.
You don't remember?
I still have the shirts though. I don't remember the creed.
Okay, do you remember our prayers?
Some of them, not all of them.
All right, we have to talk to your mother because clearly everything you've taught you can't remember. I don't like that. How's school?
School's good.
How old are you now?
I'm 13.
You're 13?
Yeah.
When you left camp, you were what, 11? Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
No,
like
not 11,
11.
10.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see you. Welcome to Jamaica. Say hi to Bridge Nation.
Good afternoon.
Bridge Nation.
Bridge Nation.
All right. Are we going to hang out later?
Yeah.
Happy to see you. Hug me up. Guys, this is one of my babies here, Makai Allen from the Irie Kids Butterfly Foundation, and his parents are pretty integral in what happens at Irie Jam in New York. Makai, thank you. I'm going to talk to you on the flip side of this. Thank you for being a part of the show. No, he's shy, guys. He's shy, but him know what we learned prayers. We had Bible gems daily. We had a kids creed talking about respecting ourselves, carrying ourselves with just with the DNA in which we have, which I believe is our superpower, our Caribbean DNA. It was a lot, and I'll share more about our summer program that we had in the New York tri-state area further on down in the show, on the journey, not today, because we have a guest. I can't believe my guest is here, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait for you guys to hear her journey. Her journey is one of breaking barriers. Her journey is one of just using her vulnerability as a strength. I mean, ooh, I cannot wait. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm continuing with my sin things, Dom? Yeah, all right. So sin things for today, again, 551-5782, 551-5782. That's our WhatsApp line. You can send us a voice note. Studio line 676-4996, 676-4996. Be a part of it. What we are gifting today, my prison break. Walk in your freedom, propel into your purpose. Can we see that, guys? Where's my camera? Walk in my prison break. Walk in your freedom, propel into your purpose. And this is the book that is being gifted today. It is a powerful one. If you guys was a part of Minister Garvey's show, which I believe was the beginning of September, you would have heard her amazing stories. Talking about breaking barriers, guys. This is definitely one. I am going to read an excerpt. My story has many chapters, and at the point without Christ, the chapters were just blank. No meaning, nothing substantial was written. I realized that even though I had a story and had the material to make the story, I was not in control of the pen writing my story. That day, I realized that I allowed the opinion of someone who wasn't shining a light on my stupidity to add to my story. That was illegal and not according to the will of God. I allowed an opinion and the pain of failure to dictate the direction of my life had taken. I allowed everything I had gone through to navigate my journey, a journey that I was given the authority to be in charge of. It was my story, but all I was going through had taken it from me. It was not fair. It was injustice, and it was like being raped and molested simultaneously and being told to shut up as though I was not worthy of speaking. So coming to that realization, I closed my eyes and I repented. I repented for not being thankful for the life God had given me. Repented for not walking the journey I was given to walk. Repented for not being me. Repented for living like an illegal alien. I said, Lord, I am ready to start writing my own story. Give me the tools needed to sharpen my pencil. Lord, as of today, I take back my authority, and Lord, my life is in your hands. I am ready to write. After hearing Minister Fabian speak and preaching into my spirit as he spoke, I decided that I owned every word uttered. I decided that there was more to my story. Irrespective of what most persons were saying was true or not, it was not the truth in its entirety. I learned that God's delay is not his denial. Ooh, that's a word. I had been praying to go to court to get bail and leave the prison before giving birth to my baby. I received 5 court dates from a lawyer I had, but he did nothing to help because he was not being paid. My mother tried, but nothing worked. The only court date I had was in September, and my baby was due in August. It was a hard situation to be in. I wish I could be at my mother's home or anywhere but the prison. Somewhere to be comfortable, to have the baby in a more sensitive place. A place where sodomy and so many evil spirits were not evident. I wanted to be anywhere I could be more comfortable after the birth of my child. And I found out I was still pregnant. I found out I was still pregnant. I did not reach out to his father. For one, it would have been uncomfortable. He had a family. And I did not want to bring my mess into his life. I wanted to leave it where it was. So I decided to start navigating through the season and trust God. It was now recovery mode. Wow, wow, and wow. My Prison Break is written by Stacey Ann Resurrected Garvey. Please call us up. This is the Sin Ting for today. 551-5782, 551-5782, 676-4996, 676-4996. I think the question that I'm going to ask is pretty simple. I just said it. What was the name of the summer program that I ran in New York? What was the name of the summer program I ran in New York? And this is yours. This copy is yours. My Prison Break by Stacey and Resurrected Garvey, Minister Garvey. And if you did not catch her show, you can just watch. You can watch it on our YouTube, Chasing Purpose with Cynthia Shea, and or on the Bridge 99 FM. You want me to show it again, guys? This is audio visual radio. Bridge Nation, Irie Jam fam. So you can please download the app so you can not only hear me but see me or us. All right, that was Sin Things. Do we go to a break or what do we do here? Because my guest is in the building. All right, we're going to go to a break. I'm going to stop running my mouth. I'm going to have a sip of coconut water. We're going to take a break, and when I come back stick and stay. We'll be right back. You hear that? Here is my story. That's Sham and Alicia Keys with Get Her Story, the remix. Welcome back to Chasing Purpose. Be a part of this conversation, guys. 551-5782. 551-5782 or studio line 676-499-6. Before we went to the break, I told you we have a guest. I'm gonna fangirl out just for a bit. When COVID broke in the States, I remember having a conversation like, why if COVID coming, we can't manage, If COVID coming, we can't manage, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna handle it? And sure enough, that I think it came in March here. I don't remember. Was it March? It was March. And I remember the all the different when they had the press conferences. All right, we had no idea what's going on. It was complete I'm gonna speak for me, complete pandemic because we just didn't know. When you don't know, you get scared of things. Every time the press conference came around, we're all glued to the TV. And even though we're here, I'm hearing, I'm going to speak for me, I'm hearing what whoever was talking with, the Minister of Health or the Prime Minister was speaking. He was standing beside him or I don't remember. There was someone that was signing. And the person that was signing did it with such passion. I felt, it was almost as if I felt like a calm. I had no idea clearly she was signing what the Prime Minister or whoever was saying, but I didn't understand what she was saying, but she made me feel at peace. I almost felt like, all right, we're going to be all right. There was just something about it, the way that she did it. She was passionate. She was comfortable. You can see that she wanted to ensure she was getting the message across. And every time a press release, I looked forward to this person that sits next to me today. And I don't know if she quite understood what she was doing at the time. I mean, she was answering the call. That's what she was doing. But my goodness, she did a brilliant job at keeping us informed and keeping the community informed. So I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell by my passion that I am joined by Antoinette Toni Aiken. Now I'm going to read just a little bit about her. Our guest, Antoinette Aiken, also known as Toni, is first and foremost a member of the deaf community. Born, and I'm going to slow down too because I want to make sure that I'm getting my points across. Let me just take a go water, yeah, because I'm all dry. Born in St Andrew, Jamaica in the 80s to deaf parents. You need to move my mic? All right, sorry about that. Neville Aiken and Kathe Lynn. As a CODA, child of deaf adults, Jamaican Sign Language is native to Toni, and as she was always bridging the gap for her parents from a tender age, it led to her becoming Jamaica's face for Jamaican Sign Language. Toni constantly prays her community, never forgetting who she is and where she hails from. She quotes, "I owe my success to my parents and the deaf community." A former Immaculate Conception High School and Broward College student, a signer for 34 years, her entire life, and an interpreter for 16 years this month. Congratulations when that comes. Toni has dedicated her entire career to interpreting. Toni has worked with NGOs such as Combined Disability Associations, schools such as Caribbean Christian Center for the Deaf, social enterprises such as Deaf Can Coffee, as well as government officials, which we know. Signed for both local and international leaders such as the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, and British Prime Minister David Cameron. She has been a staple on political platforms and even entered the music video scene. She's going to tell us more about that. Toni is also a staple for the House of Parliaments, the Office of the Prime Minister, and the Ministry of Health press conferences. Toni has founded an organization that will focus on certification of sign language interpreting as well as other additional services for the deaf community. Communication access for all is the motto for Toni Terp. Toni Terp. Toni is also a director of Ready to Sign and a board member of the Deaf Sports Jamaica with the personal motto, live, laugh, and love. A true advocate for the deaf community in which she constantly proclaims, I am because of them. Rightfully so, awarded the Order of Distinction in the Officer Class OD. Toni promises to live her word of providing communication access for all while living, loving, and laughing. Toni Aiken, welcome to Chasing Purpose.
Yes, thank you for having me. Gratitude is a must.
Gratitude is a must. I heard that was loud. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me tell you something. I'm having a time here. Today's going to be fun.
Okay.
Toni, what was your childhood like growing up?
Well, I have nothing to compare it to, so I'd say it was good. It was actually great. I have great parents. I have fantastic parents.
Awesome.
I mean, my father, a disciplinarian. My mother, more flexible, more friendly, more. My stepmother, really the driving force behind my interpreting. She taught me how to sign. So, I mean, they were good parents. They were good with what they knew, considering being left out for their whole life.
Being left out for their whole life. Is it that due to lack of inclusivity or the community itself?
Yes. So I grew up in the 90s, just to give you a little bit of information. So in the 90s, the internet was... You know, you connect to the phone, dial up. And my parents, they were just, they didn't have access. So yeah, technology was there. My father always had a cell phone. So from phones came out, my father and my stepmother, they had a cell phone. They used text. Deaf people would meet every Saturday at Calabar High School to play football, to fellowship, to do and everything that, you know, people like you would do. I would say hearing people would do. Yeah. And so they never had access to the news. They never had access to politics. They never had access to social life other than their own lives. And so information was shared on a Saturday at Calabar. If somebody found out, just if maybe my grandmother said something to my father or another deaf person heard from their parents, something happened, but information was just not shared when I was growing up. So my parents were fully left out, fully excluded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance. So the news isn't signed?
No, still to this day, no.
Okay.
The news is still not signed. So that means you have a group of 5,000 to 8,000 deaf people living in Jamaica who have access to only when they see me at Parliament, or if, you know, someone feels nice enough to bring in an interpreter for that event, not thinking that, hey, we have deaf people who want to participate. They like music, they like entertainment,
right?
They like movies, they like plays, they want to participate in politics. I know a few deaf people who are actually interested in joining representational politics. So the inclusion, it has improved. Don't get me wrong, because Jamaica we're growing rapidly. But in the 90s, it was really bad.
Nothing. At what age did you start learning how to sign?
Baby, I'll give you a story. My mommy said when I was 9 months, I was crying. My parents locked the door. So they locked the door, and my grandmother was banging on the door. My aunties were banging. They couldn't hear her. They were sleeping and crying. Mommy said, I just threw a bottle, hit her in the head, and milk. So I've been signing from, I would say, 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When did you realize that your family was different?
School. Exposure to school. Not necessarily growing up with deaf parents. Like, I felt no difference because I know nothing else. But when you start going to school and people start calling your parents names and people are just not exposed, so they have no idea. And I forgive them for that.
Yes,
they have no idea.
Yeah.
So you start seeing, oh, my parents are different. Oh, I can sign and nobody else can.
What did that make you feel at the time?
It's hard to explain because it was hard to navigate as a child. My parents are deaf, and that would make you think, oh, that means their parents can sign. But no, most deaf people grew up with no language in home.
Wow.
Yes. So as a child, because I could sign, my grandparents, aunties, uncles, friends who were hearing, tell your daddy, tell your mom.
Oh yes, okay, you became the bridger. Yeah.
From as young as I can remember, I've been signing. So, that's just been my life as long as I can remember.
So you're navigating this at a young age. In schools, were they like counselors or guidance counselors or social workers that would speak to you about maybe the kids being mean, or maybe them not understanding why your parents are signing, or that wasn't?
No, it just wasn't discussed or addressed. I guess I've always been the smiley type of child, so nothing really bothers me. I guess growing up in the deaf community, you have to be that way because they nitpick a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're fat, you're gonna hear you're fat. If you're ugly, you're gonna hear
no holds barred.
Look good. There is no holdback. So nothing really bothers me. Okay. So even though when I was going to school, kids or adults, mostly adults, would say things, it didn't bother me because some way, somehow, I just knew that my parents are just different and there must be a reason for this.
So we're talking about breaking barriers today. Did you ever feel like you were like placed in a box due to the nature of your upbringing?
I would say placed in a box by family, expectations from family, placed in a box with expectations from your parents because they have
of course.
And then I would say placed in a box by the community. For my parents, their expectation was lawyer, doctor.
As most, yeah.
And then for my family, their expectation was similar. While for the deaf community, I think they all had similar expectations and nobody expected me to become an interpreter.
Yes.
And that's just the reality. I was having a conversation with a deaf friend of mine. He's here. He lives in Holland. And he was saying that, I'm just so proud of you. Like, we just didn't expect you to become an interpreter. We didn't expect you to provide access. We didn't expect you to be this person. And so I guess they did put me in a box. But did I feel like I was in a box? No.
How do your parents feel knowing that they wanted you to become a lawyer or a doctor? When you said you were going to become an interpreter, what was their reaction?
Funnily, I didn't want to become an interpreter.
No?
I wanted to become a pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
And you still can?
I still can.
Yeah.
Jean tells me all the time. I still can. I wanted to become a pilot, but finances... family, I had to come back to Jamaica, and I came back to Jamaica. My mother, and at the time my partner said, why don't try interpreting, you can sign. Applied to the JD, and that's how it took off. It really wasn't an instinct or something that I wanted, because I've been signing my whole life.
It just came second nature to you, not maybe something that you would see as a viable.
As an opportunity. I never saw it as an opportunity. I just said, I don't want to do that. I've been doing that my whole life. But I guess that's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh my goodness. People would often see your situation as a disadvantage, but you attribute your success to your parents and to the deaf community. In what ways did they contribute to your success?
Okay, I would give you a top one.
Yeah.
Signing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My facial expressions. When I'm signing and people say, "Oh, you're so passionate, you're so good." That's deaf community.
Okay.
They all sign that way.
Yeah.
If you're
with
involved.
the passion. Because I guess that's how they get their emotion across too, their feelings across as well.
It's the intonations in your voice.
Yes,
when you're angry,
yes.
the expression is the same. So if I'm angry, if I'm happy, so the expression is the same. And I feel like that language, who I am as a person, definitely is from the deaf community,
Talk to us about who you are as a person. Who is Toni? Because I'm telling you, as I'm sitting beside you now, and I'm just thinking back to you taking us through that journey, the COVID time, the pandemic we're going through. Who is Toni when the cameras are off?
I love music.
Yeah. You're gonna tell us about that part, yeah.
I love music. I think most CODAs do. Growing up with deaf parents, you tend to try and find an outlet. And I've recognized, because I know a lot of CODAs, we love music.
Yeah.
Music is a big part of who we are. I wake up in the morning, I listen to some Layla Ike, I listen to some Protege, I listen to music. Sometimes I relax. Sometimes I look and I think, oh, how could I sign this if a deaf person was around? I'm always thinking about how I could interpret music, because music is deep.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody can say something, but it means something totally different from what they're saying. And so when I'm thinking about that, it kind of helps me to improve my JSL. I'm also a big reader. Never used to be. But I started in 2012, I think. I started reading because I felt like I needed, again, back to signing. I didn't want to be limited when I'm speaking for a deaf person. I wanted my vocabulary to be chunky.
Yes.
So when they're signing, I can speak for them eloquently, because they do sign eloquently. It's not basic, a lot of interpreters, they need the vocabulary. So because of that, I started reading. So everything actually connects back to signing. Everything I do, I'm speaking with you now and I'm thinking in JSL. So it's just me, and I love socializing with the deaf community. Since COVID, we haven't had that much, but we used to have football competitions where we travel around the island. We go to beach trips, river trips, bar trips. Trips. Sometimes I even go to parties. A group of us went to Finally the other day. So I love socializing with my community because I feel visibility is important.
Yes. Absolutely.
And once they're visible, you can't be forgotten. You have to recognize these are people. They need language, they need access.
These are people, they need language, they need access. They need language, they need access. And even saying that, I think in 2022, again, we are acknowledging that we see where Jamaica is there, the effort is there, but more is needed. Much more is needed. Outside of regular communication, what are some barriers that people in the deaf community face daily?
The biggest one is communication. But other than communication, I would say just access to information. Think about radio. You say you have audio visual. Yes.
They
can't.
No,
if I'm not signing, they wouldn't understand what's happening. I think another barrier that they face is the fact that people don't understand who they are. They're humans.
Yes.
Same, like you and me.
Yeah.
The only difference is language. They have the same feelings, same emotions, the same everything. You know, I would say children, the barrier that children face is that at home they're isolated. Nobody communicates with deaf children.
Yeah.
They're again, it's always back to communication. They're left out. Can you imagine being born? Just imagine being deaf for a minute. Being born, you're not hearing anything. And in your home, you're not seeing any language. You're just there. And everybody, what you're seeing,
Mouths are being moved, but nothing.
and you're not included. So, I mean, also children, the curriculum, the school curriculum, education, it needs to be changed. They need to teach Jamaican Sign Language, not only in deaf schools, but in hearing schools as well. The curriculum also needs, which I know that the Ministry of Education is working on, it needs to be adjusted to accommodate a deaf person.
Yeah.
They learn differently. And that's because of language, nothing else. There are many barriers. I'd say sports, when they're not involved in sports, hence why Deaf Sports Jamaica was formed, trying to get deaf people to participate in sports. We have ISA football competition, we have track and field. Deaf people are not they're not involved in that. They should be. We have high schools, we have deaf high schools who have football teams, but they're not allowed to participate. Things like that, you know, that people take for granted. And that would cause a big ricochet effect, a big change, if they were included in everything.
How do we play our part in breaking down these barriers?
Advocacy, standing up for what is right. If you know that you're having an event, provide access.
What does access look like? What does that look like?
Well, if you're having an event, you should have interpreters 1, 2, or 3, depending on the size of the event, depending on how many hours. You should have. We have something called deaf interpreters, which is a new concept to Jamaica. But that deaf person is twinned with a hearing person who doesn't really sign well. And then they would sit in a chair and sign, and the deaf person would observe them, pull from what they're saying, and express it in full Jamaican Sign Language. So that's what access looks like. We've seen it. We saw it during COVID. We saw it. That's access.
Yes.
Every time the Prime Minister was speaking, or Minister Tufton, or even the opposition, they had an interpreter. That's access. But I feel like sometimes they do it, not talking about politicians, just in general. People have events and they do it, and then they're like, oh, just a one-time thing. Just want to show, so we're inclusive. It's not a constant, oh, I want them to be involved with, oh, Disability Month, all right, yeah. We could bring an interpreter. Oh, Deaf Awareness Week, oh, yeah. You know?
No, we need to be intentional and consistent.
Right. And I understand, out of sight, out of mind. I hear that my whole life growing up, my grandma say it, but we need to remember that deaf people exist.
Yes.
They're here.
Yes, there's a whole community, of course.
They're here, and they're alive, and they're active, and they want to be included.
Is it easy for a deaf person to get a job or get to UE or university and those things?
No. Let me clarify. So we've had, I'd say, 3 deaf persons attend university. 3, 4 in Jamaica. We've had more attend overseas, of course.
4 meaning?
Locally, UTech and University of the West Indies. They attended. The issue is Jamaica doesn't have a lot of interpreters. One, quality is also an issue. As you know, quality is an issue right across the board for everything in Jamaica, but quality is an issue. And because of that, the students have graduated, but can it be consistent? No. Hence why Toni Terp was established. It was a push by the deaf community saying, hey, you need to do something, you need to train people, you need, you know. And so we're working on that now to start, because we have to get people at a place where they can sign so that deaf people can access everything.
Yes.
And they're not limited to just, we don't have enough interpreters, so
that's it. Just
that's it. You just we can't. It just not gonna work, and then them, it's not fair.
Talk to us more about Toni Terp.
Okay, so Toni Terp is an organization that is going to focus on certification of sign language interpreters, not only in Jamaica but in the Caribbean. All over the Caribbean. Bear in mind, every Caribbean country signs differently. Culture influences language. Okay. So Jamaica is Jamaican Sign Language. In Trinidad is TTSL, Trinidad Sign Language, Trinidad and Tobago Sign Language. In Guyana, Guyanese Sign Language. That's what it is. But the idea is to create a program. This is not teaching sign language, no. This is teaching how you would interpret, the ethics behind it. Because the idea is for anybody who has learned a certain level of sign language, because we have organizations like Ready to Sign who they teach sign language up to level 6. And if you are at a level 6 and you feel like, I want to be an interpreter, that's when you would then come to Toni Terp, and then you'd be taught certain things and then certain nuances. Of course, sign language is involved, but it's mostly ethics and nuances, things that you will hear that there are things that are said that if you're not exposed to the deaf community, you won't be able to interpret it. I've seen interpreters stuck. Like I watch events all the time. The other day I was watching the statin launch, and I was rewatching it because deaf people send me them all the time. It's like, who is that interpreter? What are they doing? And the interpreter was literally stuck when Mr. Clark was talking because they weren't au fait. They didn't know the nuances of what he was saying. They didn't understand the language, the finance aspect, the language that he was using. And had you put that interpreter in a social setting, she probably would have killed it.
Fine, yeah.
She would have been bombed. But because she's in a financial setting or another setting that she just don't have the nuance, and people don't realize this. Every subject is different. And yet still, I sign almost every subject. It's hard.
Excellent though for you.
It's hard work. And the new one, hence Toni Terp is going to teach certified interpreters. We're going to provide them with levels. So we're going to say, hey, you fit a social setting. Hey, you can work in parliament. Hey, you can work at a school. Hey, that's what we're going to do.
And that's the accessibility that we're talking about.
That's the accessibility we're talking about. That's the aim. And then after that, we're going to use that, and hopefully the government agrees with this, which Minister Williams, Minister of Education, she agrees. We have had conversations. If you can teach kids, easy peasy. You're looking in the next 2-3 decades, whole heap of interpreters, so much you can't even
what we need
hire all of them.
Right. We need it.
Right, and that's the aim.
Thank you for answering that call. Thank you for doing what you do and serving this community in such a way, and being that advocate, because you are that advocate, right? And now you're educating us here, Bridge Nation, Irie Jam Radio, on what it is we need to do. What would your advice be to parents who have recently found out that their child is deaf or hard of hearing?
Learn sign language. That's the first advice. Most won't. I know. Most parents just, and I don't know why. It's strange for me because I picked it up naturally because my parents are deaf. But they should learn. You have to learn how to communicate with your child.
Of course.
You have to. If you don't, how will they express to you how they're feeling when they need support? How would you get that bond that a child is supposed to have with their parent if you can't communicate? That's the first thing I suggest. So you contact a school, you learn how to sign, place your child in the appropriate school, and support your child, and your child will be fine.
How long do you think it takes for one to learn JSL?
like me or like basic?
Basic to you.
So basic, I would say maybe fluently basic, maybe a year or two immersed. So you're socializing with deaf people constantly. If you're not, you're going to forget. You know how that works.
Yes.
So I would say 1-2 years basic to be proficient. That's a lifelong
Over
thing.
time, yeah. Over time. I want to talk about, we spoke a lot on our last show about vulnerability and really seeing vulnerability as a strength. What are some areas that you have in which you've been vulnerable and you've used it now to your strength?
I'd say who I am in terms of, I don't know if I can talk about that on radio.
Talk. Share with us.
My sexuality, that's a vulnerability in this society.
In this society.
In Jamaica. I think I've used that, and it's something that my family, they're overseas, they worry about it all the time.
Yeah.
They worry about me living in Jamaica and being open, with who I am.
Yeah.
And I did that consciously because I felt as though, why hide? If I hide, it's going to be the whispers in corridors when I enter buildings.
Yeah.
If I don't hide, there's nothing to whisper. And so I think that's one of my biggest vulnerabilities. I'd also say sharing the fact that my parents are deaf, that's a vulnerability in itself.
But it is because of that why you are.
Right.
The way you are.
Right.
Like it is
Right.
as I'm watching you sign with such passion, such purpose. Because of them you are.
I am Ubuntu. I am because of
Yes,
them and
yes.
the entire community.
Yes.
I am because of them. So, I mean, a lot of people, I don't look at it as a vulnerability, but people will look at it as I remember one lady saying to me, "Oh my God, it must have been so hard growing up with," it's like, not really.
Yeah, it was great for me. Thanks.
Thank you, but not really, And people look at it as pity, and I don't want that. So that's why I said that in itself is probably, a vulnerability. 'Cause people
But that's
feel
them not knowing, right? It's the ignorance when we shy away and get scared of things or fearful of things that we just don't know.
That's true.
And if we just opened up our minds to get to know people and to understand these things, I believe the world would be in a better place.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you.
I agree the world will be a better place. Talk to me about mental wellness or illness within the community. Are they able to openly talk about depression, trauma, sexual trauma, those sort of things that happen to them? Is there an outlet for them to heal from? Is that there?
The typical outlets that Jamaica have, we have deaf churches.
Okay.
Yeah, we have deaf churches. We have a few people in the community who are
Therapists,
therapists, psychologists. We have one specific lady, I have to mention her.
Please.
Tashai Widmo.
Tashai. Hi, Miss Tashai.
Yeah, she's deaf. She's actually a co-founder of Deaf Can Coffee.
Okay.
She was a guidance counselor at a deaf school. She became the executive director for Caribbean Christian Center for the Deaf, and now she is in her church full time.
Right.
She's a good outlet for deaf people. I know that many deaf people go to her for support and advice. I myself do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to her, and she's that type of person, approachable, easy to approach, and she always gives good advice. We also have Shirley Lee, who has been working at the JAD for many years. She's a counselor as well. Not many outlets, but there are outlets. There are traumas. There's depression in the community. Isolation. I was signing that for them to know.
Okay.
Isolation is big. Again,
Yes.
no communication means isolation.
Yeah.
And so that leads to depression. sometimes you have deaf people who have no language. They can't sign. So imagine not being able to express yourself at all. That also leads to some type of mental illness. I would say, just like the hearing community, the deaf community has the same traumas and experiences, sometimes even worse. I'll give a story. A deaf lady was taking a taxi one night to go home, and she noticed that the taxi was going a different location. She's like, what's happening? And he tried to rape her. She jumped out of the moving car, and she hid in the bushes the whole night because she was so afraid.
Yes.
And because of that, she has a permanent ankle problem. Like, it's damage for life because she jumped out of the car.
And was injured.
She never went to the hospital. She waited. And, you know, things like that happen all the time. Deaf girls are walking, and I'm happy that they're deaf, to be honest. And men will be saying things.
Because
you know? So...
ignorance, man.
Yeah.
Ignorance.
It's the same. It's pretty much the same. It's just they have the outlet though. And one thing about the deaf community, expressive. Yeah. Everybody know everything. And nothing is hidden. Everybody know everything. So them know how much you get paid, them know where you drive, them know where you live, nothing is hidden. And that's because back in the days, that's the only information they could share because they had nothing else to share.
Would you say you're currently, are you chasing your purpose, or do you think you found your purpose?
I found it, but there's still more work to be done. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I wanted to be a pilot.
Yes.
But can I imagine myself as a pilot now? No. I love my job. Yeah. I love what I provide for my community. Yeah. I know without a doubt that they appreciate who I am.
Yes. We appreciate the whole of Jamaica appreciates who you are. About to be a Kleenex moment here, but
yes. That keeps me going, you know, just knowing that deaf kid or my father or my mother or my deaf friend say, hey, I'm happy you signed, because I never know. And I mean, COVID,
look here now, you
changed the deaf community life, may I tell you.
Because of you.
May I tell you,
because of you.
I remember one time during the COVID briefing.
Hold on, stay right there. We have to jump to a quick commercial break. More with Toni when we get back.
Right this is Romain Virgo, and you're locked into the Bridge 99 FM. Your Caribbean vibes amplified. Easy.
Welcome back to Chasing Purpose. We are having fun here in the studio with Toni Aiken. Toni, you were talking to us about you're telling us a story. Continue with your story, and then we're gonna jump into some voice notes that were sent and share some of the WhatsApp messages that are coming in.
All right, so I was giving the story about the COVID press conferences at the Prime Minister's office, and one day I was there, and I don't know, I just felt like I was going to pass out. Nobody knew, by the way. This is going to be news for everybody. The only persons who recognize were deaf people because, of course, they know me. Okay. So I was there signing, and I was like, why do I feel this way? And I just stepped off the camera. Like, I just pointed to the GIS guy and like, I'm stepping off camera. And step off camera, my phone started ringing. Deaf people, wham. And I went outside and I drank some water, and my phone just kept ringing, and I answered my father because he obviously saw something was wrong. I said, Daddy, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And he's like, drink some water and go back because we need to know what happened.
It's not about you, it's about us.
Okay? It's not about you right now.
Get it together.
Okay, Daddy. And I just drink the water and I just went back in. So that COVID, those pressers meant a lot to the deaf community. I don't think the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, I don't think they realize how much it meant.
Let me tell you.
Because even now, when they have events and there's no interpreter, them say, "Well, go on," and forget. You know. So I don't think they realize they started something and they can't stop now.
No, they can't. They absolutely can't. We depend on it. That community depends on it.
Right.
And then there's something again that you bring to the table. It's the passion in which you do it. It makes, is it at home even, right? Like it just makes it calms. It calms for me, it calms me, guys. I'm speaking for Cynthia here. Like, I look forward to seeing Toni in that. Is it in a square box or is that overseas? I think it's in a square box.
It's in a square box.
Is it? Yes. I look forward to seeing it. So, please, let's stay consistent with it. And we need it. She's saying to you, guys, the community needs it. They need more accessibility. They need to know what's going on. Imagine not being not communicated to. The news, I don't know what's happening around me in my society, in my communities.
I don't know. There's an actual YouTube video, I'll share it with you when I leave, that the deaf community made. For example, if a curfew is happening in your area, deaf people don't know. So they did an actual video of a deaf man leaving his house and he got shot and he died.
No.
Because things like that do happen, you know, because they don't know that, there is something happening in my community. Nobody takes the time to think, a deaf man might live around the road, you know, so maybe we need to ensure, the police need to ensure that this is signed or at least written down somewhere.
Yeah, we have to do better.
Yeah.
We must do better at this. I know diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, all these things are now something that are on the forefront globally. Rightfully so, and our deaf community is a part of that. We need to do better, guys. And this is where I'm so happy to have Toni here to talk about this. We have some voice notes I hear we're going to play. We have a WhatsApp first. Let's do that. Okay. Someone says, love this. Guys, my 44-year-old eyes are 44ing, okay? Love this. I am in the deaf community here in Toronto, and blessings to you, my friend, for the work you are doing. It is the most fulfilling thing I have ever been a part of.
That's true. It is. The most fulfilling jobs for me are the jobs that I do with deaf people. Not the TV jobs, not the Prime Minister jobs, even though they're nice, you know. I'm still doing a job, but the most fulfilling ones are the ones where I'm in a school.
Yeah. Yes.
Or I'm with an individual.
Yeah.
Those are, because at the end of the day, as you say, it's purpose, you know, and I have an example, somebody from Bulgaria, and again, sign language is different all over the world. Somebody from Bulgaria came to Jamaica for a competition, a deaf lady, and I had to interpret for her, and the first encounter that we had, I was like, oh my God, your signing is different, and she's like, yeah, but we'll be fine. We'll get through this. And I spent a week with her, and at the end of that week, it was so fulfilling because even though our language was different, we still were able to communicate. And we still were able to understand each other. And we have still kept in contact to this day because of that. And it's just fulfilling. I've done it for British people. British deaf people come to Jamaica and I've signed for them. And it's different, but it's fulfilling. Because at the end of the day, I know that they're being afforded the same access as you would be.
They said that when you hit on the thing is causing.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. My hands hard enough to move, you know? You know, it's fulfilling to provide access to the deaf individual or a deaf grouping more than, you know, it feel good to hear you say, you signed so well. Yeah. But it feels excellent to hear it from the person who is receiving it.
Yeah, and that's purpose. That's purpose, guys. You know, I'm here for. I'm telling you guys already have it. See, Toni here. She has the gifts. She the seeds were planted from early, and she's on her journey of purpose. And if you're watching, you're seeing that come through in her signing. You're seeing in her her face expressions the passion that is within, and every one of us have it. Hers is signing. Mine, I believe, motivating and empowering and helping others. Yours, it could be in music. It could be in whatever it is. You guys already have it. Whatever that barrier is right now, I'm telling you, we're talking about breaking barriers. Sis is an example here. What a barrier. And she has, I think, overcome it and is allowing her and taking her community with her. Right? In so many ways. In so many ways.
Rightly so. They deserve it. They've been.
Oh God, yes. Dominique, I need an air horn. I need something I need not just my gem thing. I need something big, a drum or something. Like, this is it, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Stepping into your purpose and answering that call. Answering that call. Are we playing the voice now? Shall we?
I am listening this program right now, and it's really touched my. I am listening this program right now, and it's really touched me in such a way. I feel really touched about what he is saying on the radio now about the deaf community and how hard he had when he was growing up, because he didn't have anybody to teach him the language. And I am thinking about it and said I should teach, even though my daughter can speak, can talk. I also would be interested in to help the deaf community. If somebody would teach me the language, I would be willing to teach the deaf community.
That sounds like somebody that is gonna enroll in Toni Terp.
Right. First, they have to enroll in basic sign language classes. Okay. So you have different organizations who provide sign language classes. Ready to Sign. You can find them on Instagram. They also have a website, readytosignjsl.com. You have the Jamaica Association for the Deaf. They provide classes as well. Or if you are out of town, find your nearest deaf school. If you're in a rural area, well, Ready to Sign provides online classes, so it's accessible all over. You don't even have to be in Jamaica. So if you're in a rural area though, and you want to volunteer, you want to participate, find the closest deaf school. We have, I think 12.
Where can we find them?
So you have Caribbean Christian Center for the Deaf. They have 3 locations, one in Montego Bay, one in Manchester, not Patrick, and one Cassia Park, Kingston. You have the JAD cluster schools, which is under the Ministry of Education. So you're talking about Danny Williams School for the Deaf in Papine. You have Lissamere Gilby High School for the Deaf in Papine. You have Port Antonio Unit in Port Antonio. You have the Maypen Unit in Maypen. You have am I forgetting anybody? Oh, you have the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf in Montego Bay. You have, I'm trying not to forget any school.
Is there an overall, like a site where we can go to and get all these listings for those that really want to jump in and help, like that listener?
Well, readytosignjsl.com. You can check out that website. Any information you need will be provided. Also, TonyTerp.com. It's not active yet because I'm trying to make it fully accessible, and I'm having a problem with the sign-in part and the what is that, the person who is building the website. He's not working well with my terms, but he's trying. Big up yourself.
Okay, well, come.
You know
let's
who you are.
Try a little harder there. Try a little harder, because we need the accessibility. Please try a little harder.
Big up yourself. So the website should have been online from August, but he's having some difficulties.
All right, we're speaking it into existence. October not passed, and we're gonna get up. It's TonyTerp.com. Yeah,
and you can find the information there.
So Toni, can I ask you to show us some basic
Yeah, man.
Sign language. And so, guys, just really quickly, I'm going to ask you, please just download the app. First of all, we have amazing content here on the Bridge 99 FM. But we're not just audio radio. We're not just terrestrial. We are online, and you can see what we do. You can see us here. So please download the app. If you're logged onto the app, the Bridge 99 FM, all one word, Android Play Store, chat fast, and in the Apple Store. Please be a part of all that we do here at the Bridge. Tony's going to show us some, I guess, basic.
Okay, so we can start with good morning.
Mm-hmm. Good morning.
So I'm going to teach you. Can I move this a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to teach you the official sign, and then I'm going to teach you the deaf sign.
Okay.
So good.
From my mouth here.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
Sun coming up.
Sun. Okay.
Get the concept?
Okay.
Deaf people just go morning.
Okay. They just go morning.
Morning.
Okay. But I would be good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
If you're going into an official area, I mean, if you're trying to be official, you would sign good morning. But most deaf people just morning.
Okay. Morning.
And then you have afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, the sun.
Okay.
So you remember coming up.
Yes, coming up, and now
The sun is
up.
in the middle.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then you have evening.
Evening.
And then you have night.
Night. Okay.
Sun gone.
Yes.
Yeah, so you get it?
Okay.
So morning.
Morning.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Evening. Night.
And night. That was pretty easy.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy.
What else would you like to learn? How
Can you sign chasing purpose?
Yes, I can. So
this is my thumb here.
Chasing.
Yeah. Chasing. Okay, this is chasing.
purpose.
Purpose. Chasing.
Purpose. Or 2 ways. Chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Because you know your purpose
Yes. So chasing.
Chasing. Purpose. I'd prefer that way because I feel like it kind of.
Yeah, and it's always a journey. I always say we're always on a journey.
Right. But this is also purpose. But this.
Yeah.
Matches your concept.
What's next for Tony?
What's next? Where the deaf community leads me. What's next?
Mm-hmm. You're guided by them.
Yeah. Interpreters, training, certification, teaching, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
People have been encouraging me to teach sign language, but the time. The time. If I had the time, I would. But I really believe, too, that my partner, Andre, who we work together, he's a good teacher. He's deaf, and I believe the best way to learn sometimes is from a deaf person.
Okay.
And then after that, you come to me when you want to be an interpreter. So I just believe maybe I will teach, but not adults. I'm thinking more kids.
Children. Yeah.
Because children learn faster, and
facts.
they will retain it. They probably won't forget it if they keep using it. So, and if my aim is to see accessibility in the next 20, 30 years take off, I have to teach kids. That's where it starts.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you do.
Amen.
You're pretty awesome. And just your energy, like I feed off of energy, and you have a really amazing one. I look forward to not see you just on my TV, but all that you're going to do within your space. We are here, Bridge Nation, RJM Radio. However you need to lean on us by, we're just not even a phone call away. Thank you for what you do. Can you just let our listeners know where they can find you on social media? Sure.
Toni Terp. I think Toni TONITERP. Twitter, TikTok. Not TikTok savvy, so don't expect much on Twitter. And Instagram.
Yeah.
That's my handle, at Toni Terp.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the journey here.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you.
It was a blessing.
We're going to jump to, do we have the commercial? Oh, no, we're going to go to music, guys. We're going to go to music. We'll be right back. More on Chasing Purpose when we return. It is for you to make the best of life in life. Whatever that barrier is, let's figure out how to break it. A lot of our answers lie within us. A lot of our answers lie within us. A lot of us who are facing whatever the obstacle or the barrier is, we have the answer. We are limitless. We are limitless. It is for us to shift our perspective, to get that mindset that we step into that greatness. Toni Aiken is an example of breaking that barrier, that or not even really seeing it as a barrier and using it to better her community. And may I appeal to the powers that be? There's no reason that any community should not be have accessibility to communication. We certainly are going to do our part here at the bridge. But I'm just asking you guys, please, by all means, look within, break those barriers. You have all that you need. I'm leaving you with this note. Just that. Break the barriers. You got what it takes. The answers are within. Power. The greatness is within you, and you have that power. Thank you for joining us here on Chasing Purpose. I just want to thank my amazing team on the beat. Nayoka, she did an amazing job on my makeup as per usual. Ayoka Beautiful Purpose. My amazing producer, Dominic Mitchell, tech operator. Of course, JB is always keeping me engineered and doing the best that he can. Cavell Francis. Mr. Romaine Simpson, our visual mixer. Mr. Azan, who is in the studio as well. We're going to get him on air, too. He has a book that we need to talk about. But thank you, guys. Up next is Mr. Thwaites and Mr. Charles to keep us on public eye, right? Have a good one.